All right, it is the Raw Dog himself, Brandon Royval, owner of one of the best nicknames in the game, owner of one of the best walkout tracks in the game. Always exciting every time you're in there. But Brandon, talk to me about May, right? I mean, not just a win, but a finish. I mean, how important was just that result for you, I guess, to kind of, like I said, get not just a win, but another finish to your name as well?
Yeah. Honestly, the most important part of like that whole entire May experience was just living the UFC like fighter like lifestyle of just like I haven't fought in front of a crowd. That was the first time ever fighting in front of a crowd and an audience and all that stuff. So I don't know, man. I've been in the UFC for like almost 3 years at this point, and just I've only walked out in front of a crowd in front of fans only one time, and it was cool because it was like I had the one of the rare situations where I've gained fans in the process before I ever had a walkout. So I walked out to cheers, people cheering my name and all that stuff. So it was just like a dream come true, man. It was really one of the cool situations. And then to go in there and then have a crazy fight is just kind of my fashion, honestly. So it was nice. It was nice to get in and out and get back to like my first round finishing ways. Cause before the UFC, I think all my fights that pretty much all of them were first round finishes. So it was nice to kind of get back to that too.
So let's talk first about the crowd experience, then, right? Because you've envisioned this, you've imagined this. I mean, every fighter wants to feel that, right? But when you get there, I mean, I guess it's kind of nice because you have some UFC experience at a very high level. So I just wonder, like, did you get almost those octagon jitters again for being in a crowd the first time, or was it an adrenaline rush? Like, what was it like?
It was one of the more like emotional experiences for me. I would like to say is just like it was super emotional, and it was like I don't know, man. It was just like a dream come true. I was in the back and I was like, I'm about to fulfill something that I've been wanting for so long, you know? And it was like, I really haven't felt like I was in the UFC because I'm just performing in front of a crowd of 20 people tops, you know? And it's like maybe even less than that. You know? So it was just like, I don't know, it's just everything you ever dreamed of. And then I like, you know, the ODB Shimmy Shimmy Ya, I've been having that like, yeah, I walked out to so many different songs before the UFC because I know once I hit the UFC, I was only going to walk out to Shimmy Shimmy Ya. And it was just like, once I got to experience that and the crowd was vibing on it. And it was just like, it was cool, man. It was so fucking cool. And it was just like, I wish I could relive that moment over and over again. And I wish this fight was in front of a crowd and just all of it, man. And, you know, like my fighting style is like, it's very much crowd pleasing. Like I very much fight to entertain a crowd, and it's like I always want to have that in me, and it's just like, yeah, I can't wait to fight in front of a crowd again too, man. I wish this one was in front of a crowd.
All right, I don't want to spend too much time talking about walkout music, but yes, Shimmy Shimmy Ya is the perfect, you know, I mean, and I like it raw, of course. I mean, it's a bit, I just want to, like, as I will say this, I think Jillian Robertson with 50 Cent PIMP is my favorite. It's hilarious. She's, you know, the girl walking out to the PIMP, but that one, Shimmy Shimmy Ya, is tops. But I wonder, do you ever worry the UFC is going to, like, as you get higher and higher up the ranks, so to go, like, bro, I don't know how we didn't catch your nickname off the top. I'm not sure what happened there. It got through. We got to make a call here.
Yeah, I honestly, I wasn't even gonna put it when I got to the UFC. I was surprised that it lasted that long in the LFA. I kept it for the few times, and then like I remember like there was a certain point I was like, I can't continue with this nickname. And they would never not say it, no matter what. Even though I told them I was like, nah, I'm done with this nickname. Like Mike Kendall, the LFA, always announced it, so it was always like it was something that was never gonna go away from me. And then once we got to the UFC, they announced it, and I was like, oh shit, I guess this is it. You know what I'm saying. um like I have an option to like write it in, and it's like I don't even write it in anymore. They just say it. Like yeah, so they'll do it at like the very beginning of every fight. Like the fight week, you'll get instructions of like what if you want to write a nickname and all that stuff. It's just like I don't put it down. Like I don't put it down anymore. It's just they say it, and it's like I don't know. It's like I like the nickname. I think it's hilarious, but it's like I also like I wonder that too. Is like I've been in 2 title contender fights already, and it's like last like I don't know how long this could last, and like you know, God forbid, I'm probably gonna end up having a daughter or something. It's like whatever it is, like I just don't want to like I don't know. I just don't want to come off the wrong way, and it's like you know, I don't know. I just like I definitely want to like I don't want to change a nickname because it's like if I never really wanted another nickname, but it's like you know I just want to be like I want to be motivational. I want to like I want to be a good influence in life. So it's like I don't necessarily want like a negative stigma behind my name itself and then my nickname with it. So I'm not changing it to Brandon Wrap It Up Royval, you know, and be a positive influence for the kids, you know.
Oh, That's hilarious. Well, no, let's not, but that's hilarious. All right, let me ask you about the fight. So, as you said, the fight was incredible, man. You don't get much more out of a 2-minute fight. So, here's what I wonder. When you get back to the locker room, does Mark Montoya, does he say, man, amazing, what effort? Or does he go, why do you insist on giving me heart attacks every time we get out there? Can you please stop doing this?
No, he knows how I fight. That's I pretty much put myself in the fire every time. And honestly, I thought it was going to be a little more calculated than it came across. But Matt Snell came out with a mission. He doesn't normally fight like that, but he literally walked across the ring and started stalking me, and I was a little taken back by it. But I also just met fire with fire too, because my plan was to walk him down. So when we met in the middle, I was like, oh shit, this isn't really going according to plan. But it was like, whatever, like fuck it, we're just throwing. You know what I'm saying? So I was just kind of enjoying the moment, and the crowd's oohs and ahs was like fun too. It's like every time I throw something, they'd ooh, or like when I got hit with something, they were oohing, and I'm like, yo, whose side are you guys on? You guys are cheering? Oh man, like what is this? But it was I don't know. I was just kind of falling in love with just fucking being in the middle of a fight, man. And I feel like that's when I thrive the best, anyways, is just being a little bit in the chaos. So I think Coach knows my style and knows that that he can't really take that away from me. Is when chaos and firefights ensue is when I'm the best, and that's usually when I walk out the better man usually.
I love it, man. That's why we enjoy watching you fight, because we get that. Now, we know you're back to work on October 15th, Askar Askarov. I mean, listen, when you're in the top 5, matchups are just tough, right? I mean, you're talking about the absolute best in the world, but I'm just curious kind of what you think about his style particularly, right? I mean, it's a very particular, very wrestling-heavy matchup. I mean, is it an exciting matchup? Is it a challenging matchup?
But it's a style that I've never – it's two things, because it's a style I've never really done well with. It's like I've lost against a lot of wrestler heavies who try to grind and win out moments. I have a lot of losses against guys like that in my past, but I also made a career off guys like that, of guys who just try to wrestle and hold me down and all the above. Is just like I've made a whole entire career off wrestlers like that too. So it kind of goes both ways. But as far as the style goes, I'm not huge of a fan of like his stylistic, like the matchup itself, you know, is like I like people that are going to put themselves in danger, that are going to take risks, and that allows openings for myself, you know. But with Askarov, I think my whole entire game plan and my whole entire style is just to make him fight a firefight. Is like if he doesn't want to engage into like whatever, I don't think he wants to engage in exchanges on the feet or exchanges on the ground. I think a big kind of game plan of his is just kind of buying and winning the minutes, and just kind of winning rounds and winning the minutes, and just kind of like winning on points, you know. And I kind of feel like that's his whole entire style, and I think that's how he's going to try to fight me the whole entire time too. And it's just like my motto kind of going into this is just everything I'm doing is I'm making him work. Everything I want to do is I just want to make him work for everything. If he shoots up for a takedown, he's probably going to get it. He might get it, and he's probably going to get me down some point in the fight. But it's just like I'm going to make him work for it the whole entire time. And if he puts me on my back, I'm going to make him work the whole entire time and just threaten him the whole entire time. And a guy like Askarov is just like you know, his style's whatever. I'm not a huge fan of his style, but like as a competitor, you got to respect him. And as an athlete, you got to respect what he's done. And he's made a fucking huge career off of his style itself. But that being said, is as far as like fights and anxiety and all that shit, is like he should be the one nervous, you know. Is like I'm trying to put a shin across his head, I'm trying to put elbows in his face, and I'm trying to put a knee in front of his chin, like all that stuff. And it's like he's just gonna try to stall me out and win rounds, you know. And it's like good luck, man. If I have anxiety over this fight, then he's gonna be shitting bricks night and day, because I'm coming out with the vengeance, and I'm coming out pissed. And you know, I come out with the fucking attitude every time I fight. I fight with a chip on my shoulder and something to prove. And it's like, you know, if you can stall me out for 15 minutes, so be it, man. And then fuck it, you know. Like I'll take the loss like a man, but I'm gonna make him work hard the whole entire time, and I'm gonna give him hell the whole entire time. It's like that was kind of like the like what I put in my head is just like I'll hurt myself to hurt him, you know. And it's like I'm willing to burn, I'm willing to just go balls to the wall and gas myself out, so he's hurting too. And it's like if I can gas him out, or if I can gas myself out and push that pace the whole entire time, then I know he's gonna be hurting too. And it's like I'm willing to do that to myself to go make him feel that too. And it's like I think that's one the later rounds is when openings are going to start to happen and opportunities will start to happen. I think early on is going to be a little bit hard to deal with the strength and the wrestling ability of him, but I think later on is when I can start capitalizing on mistakes and just, get him tired.
I love it, man. I think you stated that exactly. That's the right attitude to have. So I think I probably know the answer to this, but given what you just said, I mean, do you spend extra time working on wrestling in this camp, given that he's just going to want to wrestle, or is it just like I'm not going to make that up in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever, so I'm just going to do me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna make it up, but like I've honestly like I'm not saying I have good wrestling or anything because it's not like something.
I mean, you're the top 5 in the UFC. You're good everywhere, man.
Yeah, it's not something I've ever focused heavily on my career, but it's like I've never really tried to defend a takedown ever, and it's like for the sense of like Askarov is just I want him to hurt everywhere and I want him to work for everything he gets, and it's like so as far as today is I've done 3 hours of wrestling already so far. I had an hour private and then I did 2 hours with Joe Warren, who if you know Joe Warren, he's a Bellator champion and Olympian wrestler. So it's like I'm focusing heavily on wrestling this camp, but it's just a lot of defense, and it's not even necessary to defend the takedown completely. It's just to make him work harder. And it's like, I don't necessarily care if I'm on my back because I think I thrive there, and I'm not really worried about what he has as far as his top game. But that being said, is just, I don't want to make it easy on him because it's like, I give up takedowns, and it's like, I've always given up takedowns, and it's like, I've just really never cared too. That's a little bit of like when I was younger, I always had this, like when I walked into the UFC, just like a little bit of like a pick your poison type of mind state where it's like, if you want to strike with me, I'm going to strike with you. I've never really shot for a takedown. I do have 100% takedown rate, but I don't even remember when I've shot a takedown, but I have 100% takedown rate in the UFC, which is dope. But that being said, is I don't ever remember shooting in on a takedown ever.
I was going to say, is it like 1 of 1 or what?
No, it's 2 of 2.
Okay, 2 of 2.
I think what happened is I was defending a takedown and I reversed it while they were like defending it, and they counted as a takedown for me. So, but yeah, that being said, is just like, is my style is just, okay, if you want it on the ground, then let's go to the ground. If you want to strike, then let's strike, because it's just like I don't really necessarily care.
I love it, man. I love it. Great attitude. And Joe Warren, man, a great guy to get some extra rounds with, man. That's a legend right there. So
Joe Warren, when I was younger, and this is honestly like I probably put a lot of shame on his name by not defending takedowns or anything, but when I was like 19 and 20, I was his main training partner for all of his like Bellator championship. Yeah. So
wow.
I was Judo, or what's his name's Judo, Eduardo Dantes.
Yep.
I was all those guys, the Brazilian dudes, the strikers that would fight off their back. That was my whole entire style, and that's why they brought me into his camp, and like that's what I was for him. So I was in college, like early on in college, like calling out of school to go, our ditching school to go meet him and go get these rounds in and help him out for that camp. So Joe Warren's a huge part of my life, honestly, and a huge influence in my career.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know that. That is a great story to have. So, well, listen, big fight. Like you said, I mean, you know what you're up against, but you win this. I mean, you're in a very advantageous position, right? Everybody's right there. Are you thinking about this at all? Because there's some interesting scenarios, right? I mean, there's Pantoja. Or do you call for the interim champ because the champs? I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like kind of some uncertainty at the top. So, have you thought about the scenarios with the victory?
Yeah. I feel like it could play out a lot of different ways, but I think the most important thing for me is a victory, and mainly I want to finish. And it's like in my head, and how I've been justifying it in my head is if I can go out there, finish Pantoja or finish Askarov, that almost cancels out my Pantoja loss, and it's like I could kind of argue for a rematch against Pantoja, which is something I really want. That's probably one of my main goals, to go back and run that back with Pantoja. But that being said, and I think Pantoja is obviously probably the most deserving of a title, even more than Moreno, who has the belt, the belt, questionably, or however you guys want to call it, the interim belt, who has the interim belt. But it's like I think Pantoja is probably the most deserving, and it's like if I can fight him on the same card that Moreno and Figgy are fighting on for the actual belt, then it's like if I can kind of hit that undercard, then I'll match myself up perfectly for a title shot within the year. So it's like I've been game planning it, and it's like a lot of it's up to Figgy when he's going to come back, when he's able to make that weight and take that fight. I heard that they're aiming for January, and it's like if I go out there and finish Askarov, then I want Pantoja in January for that rematch.
I love it. I mean, that would be perfect. What a win! And then that just sets you up perfect in case weird things happen with injuries or somebody has to withdraw. you're training, you're right there, you're on the card. So that seems like the perfect scenario, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm aiming it, and like all that being said, is I know that Pantoja has earned the title shot ahead of me, so it's like if injuries do happen and stuff, I understand that he's probably going to get it before me, but I just want to set myself up for that title shot in the future and as soon as possible, you know. So anywhere I can get in line is perfectly. But that being said, is I really want that Pantoja loss back.
Much respect, man. Cool for you for offering that. Well, awesome, man. Well, obviously, first things first, you got to get things done on October 15th. A big one with Askar Askarov, man. Brandon, as always, appreciate the time and definitely looking forward to that one. We'll be there at the Apex to check that one out.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, and I just want to give a shout out to my sponsors, EAP Glass. Without them, I'd probably be working a full-time job, so I appreciate everything they've been doing for me, man. And thank you for your time too, man.